Hello and welcome to Security Scan. I am Vishal Dahiya, and this week we will talk about SIG716 Assault Rifles. Now, almost 15 years after the demand was raised, Indian Army has finally got the first lot of new assault rifles. According to reports, Army has received 10,000 SIG716 assault rifles, which are part of the first batch of 72,400 ordered from US firm SIG716 earlier this year under fast-track procurement. Now, the SIG7 caliber rifle with an effective range of 500 meter. These new rifles will replace the Indian-made INSAS rifles and considered to be compact, easy to maintain and equipped with modern technology. These new assault rifles are expected to give a major boost to Indian Army's anti-terror operations along the line of control. Now, for more on this, we're joined by a distinguished panel of guests in the studio. Let me first introduce the guests, beginning with the Retired Major General Ravi Arora, Chief Editor, Indian Military Review. We also have with us Retired Colonel Tanveer Singh Chauhan, our defense analyst, and Mr. Ajay Banerjee, the defense correspondent from the Tribune. Let me begin with you, General Arora. Let's first talk about the need, the time frame, and how we have come about to procure these new assault rifles.
Very important. You've given out the basic background. There are certain issues which must be placed in perspective. Firstly, we are a 13 lakh Indian Armed Forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, and we have 9 lakh of paramilitary forces. That makes it 22 lakhs. And our primary rifle, the assault rifle, is the INSAS 5.56. There are almost 20,000 copies, not 20,000, 20 lakh copies of INSAS rifle in circulation, in stock, in inventory, under production, being replaced. And the life of an INSAS rifle is about 20 years. These first came in the middle 1990s, and now it is 2019. So they've already been in service for over 20 years. Later are some almost new, because it was in 2017 that the decision was taken to do away with it, to retire the INSAS. It will take some time to retire a whole lot of them. And because the replacements, that is, one is the AK-203 rifle, which will be made in an ordnance factory at Korwa, will take time. They will start arriving from next year, and since they have to produce 7 lakh copies, it will take a few years for all of them to be inducted and to replace the INSAS. So the government decided and gave approval last year in February for 72,400, as you said, rifles to be purchased on fast-track procedure. That means the procedure lays down. Practically, it has taken almost 2 years for the contract to be finalized and the rifles to start coming. The first lot has just arrived. And why this 72,400? Because the government said, let's meet our immediate requirements. By now, when we have decided the INSAS is not good enough, the enemy is armed with a better rifle, the terrorists are armed with AK-47 and their variants, which in many ways is better than the INSAS 5.56. So these have been contracted to arm the frontline troops, as the Army Chief called it last year in one of his press conferences. They will not be for arming the whole of the Indian Army. Remember, these personal weapons or assault rifles are mainly for in the front line. Because of functions, the officers and some of the people who man crew-served weapons or other equipment, they are armed with carbines or pistols.
Okay.
So this rifle which has come in is for those frontline troops. And the government also decided that remainder 85%, of the remainder 85%, 60% will be met by industry and 25% by the ordnance factories. Since then, there has been a change. The Indo-Russian Rifles factory has come up as a joint venture, and they will produce the AK-203 in large numbers.
Okay.
So this, not only the assault rifle, the army also wants a carbine because the INSAS carbine had not been, and the army also wants to replace the INSAS 5.56 LMG, for which also action has started, but it will probably take some time.
Okay.
So right now we have the assault rifle, the carbine, and the LMG being replaced by foreign weapons under the fast track procedure. Rifle has been decided will be the AK-203 to be produced in India by the Ordnance Factory, and they are yet to decide on the carbine and the LMGs.
Okay, let me bring in Colonel Danvi Singh Chauhan here. Colonel Chauhan, I remember almost an year ago we spoke at length about how there is a need to replace the INSAS rifles, and you're there on that program and you pointed out clearly what is it that is not right with INSAS rifle, specifically if you look at today's scenario. So how does SIG716 fulfill those requirements which are not met by INSAS? And also, as all of us know, and as General has also pointed out, is going to be manufactured in India only. So why in between going for SIG716?
Okay. So going ahead with what General said, just breaking it down further. Where will these rifles be used? Who are those frontline soldiers that we are talking of? And where does this AK-203 fit in? Why have two types of rifles? So these are some of the questions that would arise in any common man's mind. Well, when we are talking of frontline soldier in context to this weapon 6 that we are talking of, it is the infantrymen standing at guard on the line of control. On the line of control, when it comes to your personal weapon, INSAS is absolutely outmatched by the Pakistanis' weapon. There are a lot of bad actions that take place. There was one day before yesterday. And when it comes to such kind of actions at platoon level, one-on-one basis, there are INSAS rifle actually puts a soldier down when it comes to that. So these weapons will straight away go there. Out of the lot that is coming straight from America, some 90% will come to the army frontline soldiers as we are talking of, and then some will go to the Garud commandos of the Air Force and the Marcos of the Navy. So this is as far as this weapon is concerned as of now. Now about AK-203. AK-203 will largely come with the troops who are fighting the insurgency, be it in the east or in the valley, and the paramilitaries that are fighting the Naxals in the Naxal area. Why so? You mentioned that we spoke at length about these weapons almost a year back, and I had said that there is something called faith factor. Our troops, that includes us, me as well, we are very confident with AK kind of a weapon. It has minimum stoppages. I call them infantry proof. You can just throw them, pick them up, fire, throw them in the mud, take it out from the mud and just fire and do whatever thing that you want to do, you do. Maintenance is absolutely minimal. So I say that these weapons are the best infantry proof weapons available in the world, and they have earned a lot of faith as far as soldiers are concerned. So AK-203, since it is a derivative of AK-47 down the line, and an improved version, it will automatically go in as far as the confidence part is concerned. So there it fits in. But in the larger run, on the larger run, this 6-wire will be the mainstay of the Indian Army personal weapon. And as General said, that will take some time for the existing inventory to fade out. I think as and when and as and how it will, these weapons will replace it. It happened similarly when it was SLR by INSAS, and it will happen in the same way. One thing that I would wish that we LNGs also, from the same family. I hope we come to that conclusion. That will really ease various logistics and various other issues that are involved.
Okay. So that's also quite an interesting point out there. We'll come to the specifications also a bit later, but let me bring Ajay here. Ajay, your viewpoint on the overall, placement of SIG-SOR, that's SIG716, in the entire weaponry segment here, which is there with the Indian Army, and the AK-203 out there as well, and the rifle which we are trying to replace, that's INSAS?
See, Vishal, before answering you, I'll bring in something else. See, three things have happened for the infantry soldier specifically in the past 2-3 years. This rifle is the newest thing. We have also had newer BP jackets, which are, BP jackets means bulletproof jackets, which are lighter, much more effective, and we also have newer helmets for the troops, which are lighter and can take a 9mm shot even from, say, point blank range. These are the kind of testing parameters of those bulletproof helmets and the BP jackets, and this is the third important being looked after in the past 3-4 years. Now coming to the rifle, why did the Indian Army need this rifle? As the two people have pointed out, the INSAS fires a smaller round. The SIG-SOR and the AKs fire a bigger round. That means the kill factor increases. The increase is manifold. INSAS, as the troops tell us, or the people tell us, or we try to see in seminars or hear in seminars, is there is more of an injury-causing weapon, unless you are very close to the in close quarter combat. Now, in this case, the SIG-SOR will have a bigger round and fire for a longer distance and have greater accuracy. Now, this is not to criticize the INSAS. Please imagine the INSAS was planned 30 years ago when we were still a closed economy and probably coming out of the USSR shadow. At that given point of time, it looked at it was a latest weapon. Today, in today's world, we have taken this step of having a newer rifle. This also means that we are going to take the next step also very soon. 203, as we already discussed, the factory is up there. It is coming up. The rifles are being made. Now, please keep in mind, we need around 11-12 lakh rifles. The army has so far ordered for around 6.49 of the AK-203. The rest will also come from one of the sources. Most likely, in my belief, will be AK-203 will be the standard issue weapon in case of replacing the INSAS over the next decade and a half. And the SIG-SOR or its kind of weapons will be the frontline weapons, say, at the line of control.
Okay.
And possibly the LMGs which we have ordered and the MMGs we are looking at will also be of the modern variety. So these 3-4 things have happened, Vishal, I think are important for your program.
Okay. So